All right, welcome into another episode of Nightmare Stories of the Other Side. Tonight I welcome in Jonathan and Heaven of Opa Ghost. Welcome in, and how are you guys doing tonight?
Thanks for having us. We're doing
Yes,
good. How are
welcome.
you?
Yeah,
Not too
thanks.
bad. A
Good.
little bitter today. My Broncos lost a football game, but
Saw that.
can't win them all.
I bet you hear
Yeah.
about it though, being in Minnesota with that Broncos jersey on, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely for sure.
I'm a Raiders fan, so I understand you can't win any of them sometimes.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's like
Mm.
what was it last week? They were talking about the Eagles beating the Raiders, but they go, it was the Raiders.
Yep.
But I won't hold it you being a Raiders fan against you. So,
Well, that's good. Thank
to
you.
each their own. At least you're not a Kansas City fan.
True.
No, 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 no.
Then there might be problems.
Yeah, I'd be kicked out of my house.
What about you, Jonathan? What's your allegiance for football?
Oh.
I was going to say nothing. I'm a Packers fan.
You're a Packers fan? Okay.
Yeah. Since I was about 9 years old, so
Well,
That's funny you say that because I'm from Wisconsin. I'm not really like a huge football person, but you always have that like link to your home state
Mhm.
teams. So my husband's definitely a Vikings fan. So
we're smack dab in the middle of Bears country here in central Illinois.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
This year I'm hoping for a Bears Broncos Super Bowl. I think that'd be a good one.
that would be cool.
I think there are better teams. People are going to hate me, but I think there are better teams than the Bears. I think the Bears will, if they make it that
They're
far,
having
they'll
a good year.
They are having a
Yeah,
good year, and I enjoy that. I'm glad that, for years the Packers would just destroy them, and it's don't get me wrong, it's fun to see them win, but you also want a good game, and at least now we're getting good games. We've
yeah.
split the season, the last two seasons, so makes for a good rivalry.
But yeah, like this year for with the teams getting into the playoffs and potentially a Super Bowl, it's honestly anybody's season.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. Especially in the NFC North. It's just, I mean, it's all over the place. Of course, the Steelers winning, I think, have put the Packers pretty much in the playoffs. And not they haven't sealed it. I think there's a 96% chance. I think one of the metrics said of the Packers making the playoffs. So
Yeah.
it'll be an interesting season. We'll see what happens. Still 2 games to go, and against a tough Ravens, and then we've got the Vikings at the end of the season, the last game of the season. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Did you see the end of that Steelers Lions game?
I did with the I, I that's football this season. It's just how it goes.
Yep, that was definitely crazy. And speaking of the Ravens, they're losing right now. The game's on behind me. It's like I think it's 10-7.
Oh,
But I'm hoping the Ravens win just since Denver lost to kind of keep them in the number one seed.
Looks like
yeah.
somebody might be kicking. Looks like the Ravens are about to maybe tie it up.
No, maybe. So, anyways, with football talk, um, let's get into a little bit about you guys if you want to give me a little background on each of you.
You want to
Ladies
go first,
first?
Jonathan? Oh, Lord.
No.
Mhm.
In the
I mean,
hot
I don't
Do
seat.
you,
care.
do you want us or like the pod, like how we met or what are you?
Let's just start with both of you, and then we can kind of just go with the flow of how topics go.
It was a stormy
I
night in August of 1970. I-
I'm not that old. Not quite that old. I have been into the paranormal since I was really little. My mom watched a lot of spooky stuff, so I was always kind of around it. And then my generation was kind of one of the first to have ghost hunters and paranormal state and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, I'm going to be a ghost hunter when I grow up. I don't care if I don't make any money, I'm doing it.
Nice.
And then found American Hauntings, which is a local company for us, and went on my first ghost hunt, and the rest was history. I was hooked in.
Where did you go for your first ghost hunt?
There's a little old funeral home called Williamson Funeral Home in Jacksonville, Illinois. It's like 15 minutes away from where I live, and went there. It's now a private residence. You can't go in, but it was a really cool location.
Okay. And what about you, Jonathan?
I just kind of grew up, in an era where there wasn't a lot of, paranormal television wasn't a thing, but we had shows that from time to time would feature paranormal things. One of the first ones I can remember was, I think it was called That's Incredible. And they had, it was usually about people who did extraordinary things. And every once in a while, there'd be something paranormal based. I remember there being a toy store in California and how it was haunted. And, I was just, laser focused on what was going on with that. But, we also had the $6 Million Man, we had Bionic Bigfoot. So we kind of got this little peppering in of paranormal kind of throughout time, but we didn't have the paranormal television. And once that took off, that was a dream come true for me.
Oh, I'm sure. So for you, where was your first ghost hunt?
Actually, the same one. Heaven and I met there. My kids, asked me what I wanted for, I think it was Father's Day, and I was like, I want to do this ghost hunt thing. It's just in Jacksonville. For me, it's just a 30-minute drive down the road. And where I'm there, and the guy that runs it was like, okay, I'm going to split you into two groups. You people go over there and you people go over there. And my group was a lot of elderly people, and I didn't care for being with the old group. And there's these three girls in the other group that seemed a lot more fun because they were clearly there for the party and not for the ghosts.
Hmm.
Okay.
They were just there for, what was it, a birthday
Yeah,
situation or
it
something?
was our my best friend's birthday. We were like, we're adults with adult money. We can go do this if we want to.
Yeah,
So
so
we did.
I kind of said, you know what, I'm in that group now because they seem like a lot more fun than, the ones that were holding up K2s. And I remember there being one of the hallways in this building, there was an electrical box for an elevator that had been installed in the 30s. And every time you walked by it, your K2 would just peg red every
Well, I'm
time. And
sure.
they got stuck right there in front of that elevator looking for the ghosts. I'm like, I didn't have the heart to tell them it was just the elevator box, but I tried to show them, kind of in a non-conspicuous way,
Yeah.
just kind of going towards it and coming back. But I decided right then and there my group's probably over there. So,
Yeah.
Well,
um,
and for us, it was like this man who has all this equipment with him, and us girls who have no idea what we're doing, we're gonna hang out with that guy.
yeah, my equipment was a K2, an SB7, and
A laser grid.
a laser grid. That was my equipment.
We
Yeah.
had nothing.
You had a
We borrowed a K2 from American Hauntings.
and you had a
Oh,
recorder. It was
I had
a
a
mini cassette.
mini, yeah, mini cassette recorder that you can't hear anything on when you play it back
Yeah, oh,
because
you can
it's
hear the
so
gears
old.
going ka-ching, 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 ka-ching.
Yeah, so we met then on both of our first ghost hunts, and I found out that he was my husband's English teacher in high school, and my kids now go to the same school he teaches at. Just
Okay.
kind of weird little coincidences, and now he's my best friend.
That's awesome. Yeah. Small world.
Yeah.
Yeah, very.
But like, so with you guys joining up with that investigation, that kind of reminds me of back in 2024, my daughter and I went to a junior public investigation at Waverly Hills.
Ooh.
This mom and daughter, like, hey, can we join your group? You guys have equipment and you look like you know what you're doing. I'm like, we have no idea that we were just starting out, but
Yeah,
hey, you guys
same.
got equipment? Can we come with you?
We
Sure.
learn together, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they were just there for the experience and I don't know if they went on to do anything ghostly or not, but it's just the time it's like, hey, we're gonna take along with you.
Uh-huh. Yep.
You meet a lot of people on these things that are there. They're just there for the experience. I don't know if they've been to a thing or two, but they're not, I wouldn't call professional investigators. They're just, you know, hoping to catch a glimpse of something.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. And if they don't, they don't. If they do,
Right.
that's
And we all
great.
kind of are too.
Yep. So for like before you guys actually went on your first ghost hunt, like growing up, do you recall like anything like major paranormal, like, unexplained events in your life?
Hell yours, Jonathan.
I had a lot of what I always called intense deja vu. Um, that, I would know things and before, I'd know who was calling on the phone. I remember sitting in my backyard and there was a guy who was kind of the town bully, and I I just got this overwhelming feeling that he was coming out of nowhere, that he was, coming around, and I kind of peek around the corner of the house and he happened to be walking across the street, on the sidewalk. Um, Once I was between apartments and I was staying at a friend's house and I was sitting, I came home from work. It's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. His parents are in bed. They leave the TV on 24/7. And I'm just laying on the couch watching television and I see movement out of my right. And I look over and I see this woman walk across the doorway to the refrigerator. Once you go over there, there's nothing else over there. There's a wall. You're pretty much at the refrigerator and there's only one way out, and that's back across the doorway. And a few minutes go by, and I realize that she never opened the door because it was a small kitchen. Had she opened the door, it would have been flooded with light.
Hmm.
But I didn't think anything of it. That's how, anytime if you've ever seen a ghost, you're not like, "Oh my God, a ghost." It's usually something else, and then after the fact, you're like, "Oh, wait a minute." But by then it's over and it's too late, right?
Yeah.
So the next morning, I told her son, "Hey, I saw your mom last night," and told him what had happened. He gets this look on his face. He said, "Come tell mom." So we go to the living room. This living room was only probably 10, 11 feet by 10, 11 feet. It's a pretty small room. And we're standing in the middle of this living room, and I said, "Hey, I saw you last night." And she says, "Oh, yeah?" And I explained to her what happened, and she goes, "Oh, that wasn't me. That was Edna." I said,
Oh,
"Who's Edna?" And she said, "She's the woman who used to live here." And she points to this chair that's just outside, just on this side of the kitchen door. She points to the chair and says, "She died in that chair." And I
okay.
was like, "Oh." Years later, we find out it probably wasn't Edna. There was another lady whose name I can't remember now, who had committed suicide by taking a dive down the well that's located between the house and what would have been the summer kitchen. And the description of her is more aligned with that woman than with Edna. But she looked the same, she kind of had the same features as the woman who lived there. She had kind of shoulder length hair. She was a larger woman. She was wearing one of those kind of moo things that older
Yeah.
ladies wear. But, I started thinking about it, and she had this monochromatic gray look to her. And at the time I thought it was just the light from the television that made her look that way. But I've since heard dozens of stories from other people about ghosts that have that black and white movie look to them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, I think that was my first time that I saw a full body apparition and knew that what I saw after the fact was a full body apparition and not just something I blew off in my mind and never went back to.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you don't get to see a full body apparition all the time.
No.
And I've
I
seen
have
like
never.
four or five.
Yeah, you've seen a lot. I've never seen one.
Yeah, I haven't seen one myself either.
Very
It'll come.
sadly.
Hang out in these
Someday,
places, hang out in these places long enough at the right time. It,
right?
it never seems to happen when you're looking for them.
No. And for
And
us, it seems to happen to you when I'm there and I'm not paying attention. So
when you
you
have
get
your
to see it
back
and I
turned
don't.
or you're 15 feet away, looking the other
Yeah.
direction. Um, we were at
Yeah.
a we were at a women's college, and it was an old abandoned women's college. We were on the second floor, and I was in this large room, and at the back of the room, there's kind of a little room attached to it, and there was a light on in there that would flicker and things. It was part of a Halloween thing they had done earlier. And I went back in there to see the light, maybe turn it off so it didn't interfere with what we were trying to do. And I turned to walk out, and I see somebody come in the room and go across the entrance. When you walk in the room, you turn right, and there's like a mini 3 or 4 foot hallway, and then you come into the room. And I thought it was one of our friends having her, one of the two girls. And I get over there, and where they walked would have it was a wall. So they couldn't have just walked across the door and into the room. They would have ran into this wall.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, where is everybody? I thought it was one of them. And I turn out into the hallway, and they're 25, 30 feet away on a landing going up to the third floor, standing in up there
Waiting for you.
waiting for me.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for, I mean, I was on a ghost hunt, but I wasn't, it's not when you're actively sitting there asking for responses and all that kind of stuff. It's when you're just kind of wandering around being silly that we see things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any unexplained events for you before you started ghost hunting, Heaven?
No, sadly, I never had any experiences as a child with the ghosts. I've always had sleep paralysis very badly. I would fall asleep in the basement at my mom's house and then wake up and hear somebody at the top of the stairs calling my name and, I can't move and all kinds of stuff that really freaks you out when you're little. But when my oldest son was about 2 or 3 years old, he has autism. He was nonverbal until he was about 5. And we had just moved into a new house. And every year on the same night, he would wake up just screaming bloody murder. And we'd try to console him. I'd take him out of the room, try to take him back in. He'd like put his hands on the door frame, like he did not want to go back in, but he couldn't tell us what was wrong yet. And I only realized it happened on the same night because I happened to make a post about it on Facebook the next morning about how tired I was and what had
Hmm.
happened with Jackson. And then I was looking at my Facebook memories the third year and I was like, oh, this is weird. Why does this keep happening on the same day? And then the third year of it, the very last time it happened, he had finally started speaking. And I said, Jackson, what is wrong? And he just looked at me and said, the floating people are bothering me.
Wow.
Freaked us the heck out. And we moved out a few months later. Because it's like, I love a ghost hunt. I want to find all the answers. I don't want you to mess with my kids and be in my
Right, for
house,
sure.
you
Right.
know? But that was probably the biggest one for me in my lifetime before we started investigating.
Okay. Yeah, that is definitely a big one for sure.
Yeah. We only moved a couple blocks down the road. We bought a house. We were renting before, and the people who moved in after us also had a son who has autism, but he was an adult who still lived at home. And they came and knocked down on our door and asked us if it was haunted after they'd been living there for a while.
Wow.
So something creepy for sure.
Yeah. So going back to your guys' beginning, so after you guys went on that first ghost hunt, what was the discussion and like how did you decide this is something that you guys wanted to do together?
I added Jonathan on Facebook and just started blowing up his messages about ghosts all the time.
It pretty much went
I'd
like
be
this.
like,
Hey, you want to go on another ghost hunt? Hey, you want to go on
uh-huh.
another ghost hunt?
Well,
Hey, you want to
hey,
start a
did you
podcast? Hey.
Hey, did you see the new Kindred Spirits? Did
Yeah,
you
yeah.
watch this? We just talked a lot about paranormal television and different places we wanted to go to. Then I think it was a year after our first ghost hunt, we went to an old opera house in
Hmm.
Beardstown, Illinois. I think that was our second one.
I
And
think so.
then the world shut down. So we didn't get to go anywhere for quite a while. But we just kept going on a ghost hunt, one or two a year. And what?
I was going to say we did go to Eldred during COVID,
We went to
but
Eldred. Well,
the
we
great
went
thing is
to
they kind of limited the number of people to go so that I mean it was great because you didn't go in and have 25 people running
Yeah.
Yeah.
around. You only had 15 or so and they would let ideally 8 or 10 in at a time and
We went to Beardstown the very day that the shutdown happened the very next day.
that's right.
And
That's right.
then we went to the Eldritch house in Eldred, Illinois. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
And we went as soon as it opened back up again. And they were like, you can come, but we have to wear masks and all that stuff.
right.
So, but we just kept going on a few, and then I would kind of send Jonathan messages quite frequently of like, we need to start our own paranormal team, we need to start a podcast, and he'd be like, I'm really busy, I have two jobs and all this stuff, and I just never let it go.
It's
And
just
now here we are.
like a splinter in the mind, just constantly there.
But
Yep.
it's like, once you go on your first one, it's just like very addicting. It's like when I went on
Yeah.
my first one, it's like I had no idea what I was getting into, but like when I left, I'm
Mhm.
like, when do I get to do this again?
Did you
Yep.
experience anything on that first one?
Not really. It was at Edinburgh Manor in Iowa,
Ooh.
and it was a
Familiar with it?
quieter night, but a lot of knocking, banging. The main thing that we were only there for like 5 or 10 minutes. It was like 5 in the afternoon. My two, I went with my friend's team, and like right away when we were getting the tour, we heard like kids laughing and running down the hall.
Sounds like you experienced
Wow.
something.
Yep, it was like right at the beginning. So, but that was like the
That's
main
cool.
thing.
Yeah,
But it was just like, but still, it's just the rush of being there. And it's like, when I left, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this I want to do again. But
yeah.
when?
Uh-huh.
Our
Our first night at Williamson Funeral Home was probably one of the, we've had some really cool experiences, really cool
hmm
places, but Jonathan had an SB7 spirit box, and we were up in this room. I think it used to be because at one point in time, the funeral home was also home to a doctor who had his offices in the house. And I think it was one of those rooms. And he had the spirit box on, and we're all just kind of sitting around chit chatting. And we hear a little girl's voice say, "Hello." And so, being new, instead of trying to continue to talk to her, we all just freaked out and screamed and were like, "Hi, hi, hi." And then she said again, "Can you see me?" And then that was it. We didn't get
yeah,
another sound out of that
drawn
spirit box
out
for the whole
long
night.
enough. It wasn't
But
just
it was enough to be like, yeah, we're doing this again because that was
yeah,
incredible.
No, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
That same ghost hunt. We smelled lavender in the hallway on the first
Yeah.
floor. Um,
There was a
I
shadow person.
there was a shadow person. I didn't see the shadow person. There was the main room on the first floor was used by a theater company to stage small productions, and at the back of the room was a baby grand, and I was standing on one side and the girls were standing on the other. And I'm talking to them, and all of a sudden they kind of back up a little bit, and their eyes get this big, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And one of them goes, "There's a giant shadow person behind you."
It just moved really fast behind him. And then there was like a sound booth on the end, a little doorway, and it went in
Okay.
there and went away. So we had a lot of little but awesome
hmm
experiences that first time. And like you said, you're just hooked. You want to go again.
Yeah.
You're right. And it's like my daughter, she investigates with me, and it's like she's only 12, but she is like a professional. She's just like,
Oh,
it's like, you get the 12-year-old side of her, but then like when she's investigating, you can ask Courtney, this girl knows what she's doing.
She reminds me of when I was her age because I was highly into the paranormal whenever
mm-hmm.
I got to like do investigations, but like her
Yeah.
enthusiasm definitely reminds me of when I was that age.
I would have
That's so
died at
awesome.
12 years old if somebody would have let me go on a ghost hunt with
Oh
them.
my
That would
God.
have
Right?
been,
Yeah, I was so obsessed. I read a book after book on the paranormal. Like I
oh
was
yeah,
an expert in theory before I even went on an
yeah,
investigation. Like,
exactly,
Uh-huh.
exactly.
yeah.
We had a, the little junior high library had like, you know, probably three or four, maybe five books on the paranormal, and then never mind the Time Life series that came out in the back in the day. And those are probably the only books I ever read in my life up to that point.
Yeah. We would just go to like historic places on like family trips like every
Mm-hmm.
year and I would always get like the haunted book that at that location or wherever we were and get it and read it and yeah.
But I always like to ask people, it's like, I go, what 11-year-old girl do you know now that, well, she's 12 now, but like at the time, I go, what 11-year-old girl do you know that's been to Waverly Hills and done an overnight?
No,
Yeah,
like
I
Zero.
haven't even been to Waverly Hills and
Just
I'm in
oh
my
yours.
30s. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like when we go on our investigations, I let her lead them all. That's how good she is at
That's
it.
awesome.
Wow, very cool.
Training her young.
You know?
You know, and you kind of have to have experience. It's like, with the first, you go to these places and you're just a person in an old house. But after you've done it a while, you start getting a feel for things. You can start telling, you can walk in
Yeah.
and you can get a feeling for the place right off the bat. And, when I first started, it was just like walking into your house, it was just a house,
Yeah.
or an old building or whatever. But after a while, you start to get, I guess you get sensitive to it to some degree.
Yeah.
And you can't develop that if you don't go.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Um, where where was I? Where was I gonna go? There was something I was gonna go to, but um, favorite location you guys have been to
Ooh,
so far, and I'll try to retrain my thoughts on what I was gonna ask earlier.
My most favorite is Williamson. I would love to get back there, even though it's a private residence. I kind of know people who knows the person who lives there, so I'm just really hoping that she'll be like, "Yeah, I don't care if you investigate the place I sleep at night." Love to get back there.
What was
Where
that
else have we?
haunted? She must have accepted it, right?
Right. Well, and her son has said to his dad, "There's ghosts in here," and I'm like, "Yeah, I have talked to them. They are
yeah, yeah.
there."
We've heard them.
Um, we went to the Blackford County Jail over the summer, which is in Indiana. I really
Uh-huh.
loved that location. That was really, really cool. I think those are probably my favorite that I can think of at them. Oh, well, Mineral Springs Hotel in Alton,
I was going to
Illinois.
say,
Top place. We can no longer go there. They have shut it down to public investigations, but we
Yep, I've
went there
heard that.
several times. It
yeah,
was kind of our like home base.
Okay.
yeah. Um, I would say that also the Mineral Springs, you got to love the first place you went to and had experiences. So that for sure. And the Monroe House,
Oh,
I I want to go back there. It was a weird experience when we were there, but having experienced it, I want to go back now.
Yeah, that
you
is
got the
definitely
Monroe House bug.
on our list to go. My daughter's like, we need to go there just because her middle name is Monroe.
Ah,
Aw.
But
it
we'll
was
get to
an
get there someday.
it was a strange place. I've never been to a place and felt like,
Unwanted.
yeah, almost like anxiety. I mean, it wasn't fear, but it was like anxiety. It was this, as soon as you walked in the door, it was like, boom, you're not supposed to be here. You felt the pushback. You just felt tingly and weird.
Hmm.
And
It
we
was
went
odd.
in. Yeah, it was really odd. I've never felt that anywhere else I've been. I felt tingly sensation before at Mineral Springs. We did that one time, but this was different. And we went in, we set up some cameras, and then we left because we also had to check in at Blackford, which is basically across this town square,
Okay.
across the parking lot. We went to have dinner, and then we came back, and we were sitting in, I don't know what, it's not the living
It's like
room,
a
it's kind of,
living room. It's a where you walk in the main door, there's some couches. It's like an
Okay.
yeah,
entryway room.
it's kind of like a place where you can kind of set up your base of operations and then be able to do everything. And we heard this like ting from upstairs, and everybody's like, well, we weren't sure if what we heard was what we heard, but we heard it a couple of more times, and so we go up there, and there's a room that, if you've ever seen the videos, there's a room that has like all the kind of dolls and stuff in it, the toys in
Yeah.
it. Um, And in that room, there's a kind of like a Fisher Price piano type thing that has like maybe six keys on it or something. And we start hitting every key, and we get to the end and we hit the last key, and it's that same sound. And we're like, okay, now we've got something. So we go back downstairs, and just the weird feeling would come and go, and you were never really comfortable there. And then
No.
we decided, you know what, maybe we should just go to Blackford. We were going to sleep there. We were going to do a double investigation, one at each place, and just kind of switch halfway through the night.
Yeah.
And we decided that maybe we won't stay at Monroe.
Nobody wanted to sleep at Mineral
Yeah.
House. We were
And
like, we're
so
all getting out of here.
so we're like, all right, let's go upstairs, get our equipment. Heaven and I went upstairs and we walked into that room where the piano was. And as soon as you cross the threshold, that really heavy, pushback, tingly feeling was just slapping you right in the face. And I'm like, wow, there it is again. Hard, just as hard as the first time we walked in. Only now it's up here, it's not down there. So it was uncomfortable. And like I said, it wasn't a fearful thing, but it was like anxiety almost.
I know
It was
exactly what you're talking
strange.
about. I
Yeah.
felt that.
Yeah.
It was
People who
strange.
go there say that they feel drawn to go back there, and I do not feel that, but Jonathan does.
I don't feel drawn. I just feel like, okay, you kind of weirded me out, but now I know what you are, and now I'm ready to go back. And if you want to weird me out again, you can give it a shot. I'll probably feel the tingly thing, but I'm not going to let it, push me out, you know?
I will.
Well,
I
it's kind of
wouldn't.
like for me in like Edinburgh Manor, like, that's the first location I went to. And it's just like I'm drawn to it. I've been there in a year and a half. I've been there like 6 times, I think. And it's just like this next year going back twice, maybe 3 times. It's just like I keep getting pulled there.
I want to go there. It looks like a really cool
Yeah,
location.
It is.
it
It's
does.
awesome.
We've done a lot of places around kind of the Midwest, Indiana, Wisconsin, Idaho, or Iowa rather.
Idaho,
Sorry,
Idaho,
sorry.
that's way out
The
there.
way out there. No,
Iowa,
Iowa, Missouri.
Missouri.
But we've never been to Ohio, and I think this summer we need to do a
Yeah,
couple of things, but one of them is I want to get to Ohio.
yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
we've been to Ohio twice. So we did last May we did Madison Seminary, and then
That
over
would
the
be cool.
summer we went to Poasttown Elementary, and that location, there's something about it that's like the best investigation I've ever had, where it's like that whole night was just amazing.
Wow. Is it
Well,
a, like an old elementary that's closed down now?
Yeah, it's like what was it, a 3-floor elementary school? So if you
Oh.
think of Farrar Elementary School in
uh-huh.
Iowa,
Uh-huh.
Poasttown is bigger.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what did you
That would be
experience
cool.
there?
Well, it started off, we had a storm right away. A big thunderstorm rolled through.
That's
Some of
cool.
us were outside getting footage, and the flagpole got hit by lightning right in front of us,
Oh my
Wow. That's enough
gosh.
to freak you out, let alone,
right? And
know?
then a couple of our team members, they ended up leaving before we even investigating because we did Waverly the night before. So I think it was a little bit drained from that, but they
Oh
just got
yeah.
sick and uneasy, and they went and got a hotel somewhere. I think it was Dayton, Ohio. But just, right off the bat, we lost 2 members. Um, we were in, God, what the heck was the teacher's name? Miss Johnson's room, I think. We were playing Heads Up, 7 Up, and
That's
on
fun.
Classic,
every
classic.
on every desk that somebody wasn't sitting, we had a K2.
Oh, that's cool.
There was like 8 or 9 desks that had K2s on it. They were all spiking red at the same time.
Really?
It was
Wow.
just insane. We saw a cat in the middle of the night. Don't know if it was a real cat or if it was a spirit cat, because what the heck is there a cat doing in an elementary
Right.
school in the
Right.
middle of the night? I got rushed by something down off the one of the gym hallways. It's just there was so much I have to like go back through the footage, watch, but there's just so much happening. It was like, to me, it was like the perfect investigation. Had everything.
Yeah, just thing after thing after thing. That's
Yeah,
Wow.
incredible.
We went to it's called Boarhead Manor, but it's really
Broadhead.
on
Broadhead, not
Broadhead.
Broadhead.
boarhead.
Sorry, I don't know why I said Boarhead. Broadhead Manor. It sounds like, oh, that sounds like a regal estate. No, it's an old high school.
Yep.
that place is huge.
That was cool.
Yeah, we had a lot of electronic failure. I mean, these headphones are, I've never had trouble with them before in my life, and they just quit working at Broadhead.
Interesting.
And then they'd turn on and then they'd quit working again.
Have you guys ever been to Jericho Haunted Trinity in Wisconsin?
I don't think
No.
Broadhead is the only place we've ever been in
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
There was
Okay.
another place in Wisconsin that the same company does tours of, and
It was in
um
the same town as Broadhead. I don't
was
remember what
it?
it was
I thought it
called.
was
Yeah.
like 20 miles away or something.
No, they're right by each other.
Oh, well, we'll have to put that on the list as well.
But it wasn't that.
There's a ton of places in Wisconsin. There's a YouTube channel I used to watch. I can't remember what it's called now. Sorry, I can't give them a shout out, but they um they do a lot of kind of Wisconsin, Minnesota area stuff. And
Wonder if we're thinking about the same YouTube channel because I follow something similar. Do they do a lot like around Stevens Point kind of?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
I
think it
feel like
is.
we're the same channel. It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They always stop at like the local Wisconsin bar or the local Minnesota
Yeah.
bar, and
I
they
can't
do the
think
whole
of
thing. And
yeah, they're good.
Yeah, we've done Jericho Haunted Trinity twice. That's really interesting location. You guys should check it out sometime.
Where's it at in Wisconsin?
Jericho, Wisconsin. So it's about what lake is that? Fond du Lac Lake up there, I
mm,
think. It's right up
mm.
in that area. It's
Hmm,
like Jericho is like a small town. It's like a block by a block. It's like,
nice.
Oh,
yeah, you blink, you miss it.
Yeah, we've got a lot of those around here.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Was it really active there?
Yeah, the first time we went was November of 2024, and one of my old team members, we sent him back into the basement of the school, and he came back like a minute later. He says, I was going down the stairs and I got charged by something, and then he was done.
Wow.
We
Wow,
had, God, was it about a 2.5 hour Estes session that was amazing.
Wow.
And then,
that's a
That's
toward,
long
long.
Estes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Towards the end of the night, we were getting done. I wasn't recording, but like in the church, I heard this loud scraping noise. I'm like, what the heck was that? So I went back by like what would be the pastor's office, and you could see this. There was a heavy box of like porcelain plates and bowls and stuff. You could see that it was moved across the floor. You could see the dust line.
Good old-fashioned
Weird.
callback phenomenon. You're packing up, getting ready to leave, and because nothing's happening, and they're like, "Oh wait, there's more," and they do
Come
something
back.
as
Right?
you're pulling the batteries out of the cameras. They're
Yep.
like, "Wait."
Always. That's cool.
Yeah. So, but, there's good, great locations everywhere. Like, so for like Illinois area, what other locations have you guys investigated?
What was the one we just went to? The railroad.
Oh, the Amboy Railroad Museum in Amboy, Illinois. Was that north of us?
Yeah, it's up near. It's going towards Galena.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's not quite that far north. But it's getting up there. It's getting up close to Rockford and that whole area.
It's more like a historical society museum.
Hmm.
There is a big train outside. There was like an orphan train that used to go through there, and so they have a museum part to that. But they've got three or four buildings on the property. You can have access to an old schoolhouse,
Uh-huh.
all kinds of stuff.
There's an
And
old schoolhouse. There's an old like basically the tool shed, for lack of a better word, for the. It used to be like a railroad hub. Like 15 tracks side by side, big
Okay.
rail
yeah.
yard thing. Of course, all of that's gone. But the I say tool shed. It makes it sound like this little thing, but it's a
Mm.
you know it's as big as a high
Large.
school gym. And there's that. There's a caboose on site that you can go into. There's an old jail cell, outdoor
An
jail
outdoor
cell.
jail cell, yeah.
sitting there that you can investigate. There's the museum itself is the original depot. It's 2 floors, big enough that um, I mean, large enough that you can have a couple of groups in there at one time and not really step on each other too much if
Okay.
you're not calling out loudly or anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh, but it's
But
the
tons of like
thing.
old artifacts. It's just
Yeah,
full of old stuff.
there's
And
probably
that
a
was the
lot of it.
coolest part.
Yeah, a lot of attachment stuff probably running around there. There's one of the rooms, for example, had like a bunch of there was military uniforms from people in town who had served in several wars, and there was military artifacts from them, and everything from medals to a few rifles and things like that. And then in another room there was pretty much a shrine to a family, and it had like their bedroom set and their bedroom furniture set up in the room. And so
Wow.
you've got all this like weird disconnected, every room you go into is a different thing altogether. So one of them was just a dedicated to the depot itself, kind of
Hmm.
historical artifacts and things for
Okay.
that. But it was an interesting place. It was noisy,
Very
and
noisy. Lots of knocks and pops and
knocks
stuff
and
all night
pops.
long.
Yeah, all night long.
There's also, where is the place we went to in Quincy? What is that called?
Oh, um,
It's an old house where supposedly a guy buried some treasure and stuff.
right. And
Villa
he,
Catherine. It's called Villa Catherine.
right.
Yeah.
And I thought they just had a fire, I thought there
Hmm.
recently.
I didn't hear that.
I don't know how major it was. I don't think it was terribly major, but I think there was a small fire there. We've been to Ashmore Estates.
That's an incredible one.
It
Yeah.
is.
We've
Yeah,
been
we
to
love that.
obviously Mineral Springs, Franklin Lodge in Alton. We've stood
Yeah.
outside the Presbyterian church that's haunted there a couple of times.
We haven't gone inside of it. No.
Go walking around Alton, you better have your hill climbing shoes on because it's a hilly little town.
Yeah, you'll
Um,
get your workout.
any other Illinois places?
Well, we investigated the old high school that Jonathan worked at before
That's
they tore it
true.
down,
Before they tore it
but you
down.
can't go there now.
That's
Right.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't catch a lot. The only thing I know for sure, we left a recorder in what
The library.
we'll call the old library. We were on the other side of the building, and when we came back and got the recorder while we were gone, you can hear what sounds like someone in high heels walking across the floor, walking through the room. Um, is there any other Illinois places we've been?
I don't think so. I think you've covered them all. I was trying to think of where we went the first few years,
I
but I
mean,
think that's it.
we've been to like the DeSoto Hotel in Galena, but we weren't there to investigate. We were there as part of there's a conference they hold there every year. It's a small conference. Um, who all was there at the conference?
At
Chad,
Galena,
yeah, Chad Lewis was there.
Nice.
Um, the
Troy, I think Troy Taylor did a
Troy
speech,
Taylor
didn't
was
he?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, who's the guy that's always with Chad Lewis?
I'm not gonna remember
I
his
did
name.
know there'd be a quiz. Kevin.
I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, Kevin. Um, we've been
It's a cool little
to,
haunted town. If you've not been to
oh
Galena,
yeah, and it's
definitely check
beautiful.
it
It's
out.
I've
like when
driven
you're
through it
walking
before.
Yeah,
walking
so
down
cool.
Main Street. It's like, is this a Are we in Switzerland? It's like this beautiful little town. We've been to the Squirrel Cage Jail out in
That's not in Illinois.
Iowa. No, but I was
That's
listing.
or Western Iowa.
Yeah, we've been to
Yeah,
Squirrel
almost
Cage,
Nebraska.
Villisca, Malvern. What was the mansion also in Atchison? We've been to Sally House, the the
Oh,
villa.
McIntyre.
Yeah, McIntyre. We didn't go inside McIntyre, but since we were in Atchison, you can't not swing over there and
Yeah.
wave to him at the on the Ring doorbell. Let him, you
Mhm.
know. ISS in Indiana, um, the
Billy Creek.
Randolph, Billy Creek. Yeah, you guys did a Billy Creek investigation, didn't you?
Who, me?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. We were there when how was that? June. That was like one of our first stops on our
Ooh,
road trip.
hot.
We did ISS during the day
Hmm.
and then Billy Creek at night.
I would love to be in Billy Creek at night. We've only been there during the day, but I bet it's a whole different vibe at night.
Yeah, we've
Oh,
been there a couple of
it
times.
definitely is. It's like I want to get back just because, there were certain buildings I didn't get to at night and get to spend a lot of time in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a whole different feel at night, that's for
I,
sure.
I mean, there's so many that if you went to all of them, you would only spend an hour or so in each building before you'd have to move on to the next one. So,
Right.
what
Yeah.
did you get any um did you get what was the most haunted building for you at Billy Creek or the
We
most
spent,
active?
I spent most of my time in the schoolhouse just because that's kind of where my daughter has a child spirit that's attached to her, and she always seems to get a lot of
Oh.
responses in the schoolhouse. But I think from like what I heard overall, they had some really good interaction in the governor's mansion,
Hmm.
and then one of the churches. I can't remember which church because there's two different churches on the property.
Hmm. There's also the Civil War house that's kind of back across the
Yeah, we
field.
didn't really get to spend too much time in there.
I like that
That,
one.
that's why I want to get back because I think I was only in there maybe like half an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
Do
Yeah, I
I
want to get
don't
out there.
are the like there's kind of a I don't know what to call it, a gift shop type thing where they sell t-shirts and hoodies
Yep,
and things like that. Do they let you in there at night? Or do they keep that one?
that's where you sleep.
Oh,
Ah.
nice.
Yep,
Really
they got
sleep
like
in there?
they got an upstairs and there was like five or six beds, I think.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
handy because that building has air conditioning, doesn't
yeah, somewhat.
it? Kinda, yeah. We've only been there in the dead of summer during the day, and it's always been so hot every time. Same with
Yeah.
ISS. We've only
Yeah.
been to ISS during the day.
We
Yeah,
tried to
same
do a
here.
little we tried to do a little investigation at ISS the last time we were there and it had rained and the place leaks like a sieve and you could hear just water dripping everywhere and you couldn't really you're like, "Wait, is that something?" No, wait. No, it's water.
Mm.
But yeah, we've been to ISS twice, only during the day. The first time
Us
we were
too.
there for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we were down in the tunnels, kind of under where the nurses station would be,
Hmm.
and we heard furniture get moved around
Oh.
above us, and we know for a fact there was nobody else on site because it was right before whoever had the overnight was coming. But we were in the same spot. I don't know if you guys have watched the Project Fear video when they were at ISS.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
We were in the same exact spot in the tunnel where they heard stuff get moved around at 2 in the morning.
Wow.
Wow.
That's interesting.
And then when we were there this last June, my daughter and a couple other people were in like the asylum part, and I think it was the fourth floor. She wasn't recording because she couldn't figure out how to record on the camera, but something was hissing at them,
Huh.
Oh.
and they ran out of there like freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them what we experienced when we were there.
Well, I didn't experience anything you did.
Well, we were at the nurse's station and you heard footsteps coming
Oh,
down
that's
that
right. I
hallway.
heard footsteps coming down the hallway. Um,
Probably I'm going to say northish. I don't know the
yeah,
exact
I was about to
orientation
say
there.
north of the nurse's station. And
Okay.
Yeah.
there's one room off that hallway that is like very well sealed up. You open the door and there's no water damage, there's no leaks.
Yeah.
And we were like, "Oh, this
It's one
is
of the few
cool."
rooms that when you
Yeah, I
open
know
it
what
is
room you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah. It's like a bathroom or something, shower room. And when we shut the door, Jonathan saw a figure.
and I turned to my left and there was a guy, he was wearing a fedora and like a suit. He was all in shadow, but he was only about 5'6", 5'7", wearing a fedora and a shadow, and I turned to heaven to say something to her and I looked back, of course he's gone.
Hmm.
And she had opened the door. We had both kind of opened the door, but she kind of went into the room, and I was kind of behind her holding the door open. And as she's coming out, I turn, and that's when I see him. And by the time I turned to her again and look back, he's gone. But we were just
Yeah.
kind of looking around. We were just investigating the grounds more than for ghosts. Just being nosy. What's behind this door?
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's a big location.
it is.
It is. It's deceptively large because that nursing home is, I mean, those hallways are almost 100 yards, 50, 60, 70 yards long, and it kind of that cross formation. So you've got one's going this direction and then the main hallway going the other direction.
Hmm.
And then you've got the entire 5-story hospital and
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. I wish they'd put a new roof on it.
yeah.
Mm.
And then, um, yeah, so like ISS, besides hearing that furniture get moved around, that's the only thing in the two times I've been there that I've really experienced.
Yeah, I haven't. We only saw the figure and heard footsteps. We have some friends who were, I think, in the nurse right by the nurse's
Yeah.
station,
Yeah.
and they were standing across the hall from each other in separate doorways and kept didn't say anything to each other at the time, but one would get like a chill, and then a few minutes seconds later, the other one would get a chill. And then they later on, people who were standing at the end of that hallway told them, while you guys were standing down there, we kept seeing a shadow figure go from one of your doorways to the other and then back to the other one. So they didn't see it, but almost felt it
Yeah. I
moving
felt it.
through them. But really, I just think it's so loud there with everything open to the elements almost
Hmm.
that it's
Right.
hard to catch anything.
Yeah.
You don't know what's birds or what's ghosts.
Yeah.
And like, I've said this multiple times. That's as of like right now, just because of my daughter and her age, that's probably the one location I won't do an overnight at.
Yeah.
Just because of all the access points, you don't know if an animal's
Yep.
gonna get in there, if somebody's gonna break
Yeah.
in at night.
And
I don't
Well,
want
and that
her
happened
to,
to the Project Fear team when
yeah.
that
right?
person broke in. That I don't want to deal with that at all.
That, and quite honestly, and this isn't a dig at ISS, but there's a lot of debris all over
Yeah.
that place, and
Yeah,
Walking around in the dark.
walking around in that in the dark is probably well, that's not probably, it is. It would be dangerous. You would definitely wouldn't want to go total lights out there. You would want to keep a flashlight on just for the sake of walking around.
right.
Yeah.
The nursing home isn't as bad, but
Have you ever taken her to Randolph County Infirmary in Indiana?
We have not been there yet.
highly suggest
I
going
think
there.
she would like it there.
Yes.
It's
That's
really cool.
we might do that this summer. I'm just because we're doing Pennhurst, Gettysburg, and Trans-Allegheny, and then I'm
Wow.
trying to think of another location
Something to do on the way there or the way back kind
the
of
way
thing.
You could go
back.
to Eastern State during the day because it's not that far away from Gettysburg.
There you
Right.
go.
There you
But
go.
A
That's
so
lot
what
of
I
like
them
did.
and a
but
lot of
so
them
like
have these little 2-hour day tours. You can go in and kind
Yeah,
of
and
walk
it's
around
amazing.
and
Highly
right.
recommend just going there. I mean, just being there is
Yeah.
awesome. So,
Because like on the way back after Trans-Allegheny,
yeah.
it's like, do we do Hillview Manor? Do we do Fairfield? Do we do Randolph? It's like there's a
Mm-hmm.
few options. I just haven't decided yet.
I will say this about Randolph. It is deceptively large. When you go there,
So
you're
big.
thinking, you look at this place, you go, ah, this isn't so big. And then you go in and you're like, holy crap, this place is actually pretty darn big.
And they have the people who own it own quite a few locations in Indiana, and they just really cater to like they have great bedrooms for you to sleep in. They're just the best people. It's a great
Yeah.
place to do an
Super nice
overnight.
people, very knowledgeable about the history of the place and
Yeah.
will gladly tell you their own experiences. Sometimes you go to these places, they're like, well, we don't want to tell you what happened to us
Yeah.
because, we don't want to taint what might happen to
Yeah.
you, but they're always willing to tell you anything. And like I said, they're always very knowledgeable.
Yep.
So, if you each had to pick three bucket list locations that you
Oh,
haven't been to,
Ooh.
what would they be and why? This one always gets people because they're like, I gotta think now.
Uh-huh. I really want to get out to the old South Pittsburgh Hospital.
Yeah,
Um, I can never remember if it's in Kentucky or
Tennessee.
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 Tennessee, yeah. We did an episode, our very first episode on haunted hospitals. I bought Richard Estep's book about it, and just the things people have experienced there. I I gotta go there. It sounds like such an incredible location. That's number one. Any of the big Trans-Allegheny, Waverly Hills. I haven't been to any of them, so I want to get into one of them. And then I just really want to go to Salem and see everything there, investigate all the
Courtney was
places.
just there.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I want to go to
Tell us,
all of it. I want to
Courtney.
go to Bungle
Okay.
Liquors. I want to go
Buckle.
Oh,
everywhere.
I also got to do a private special investigation with Amy from Ghost Hunters on Halloween, which was
Oh
absolutely
my
amazing.
God, stop.
They have stuff like that there because they live around that area. So it was like a
Oh,
fundraising investigation, and it
Yeah.
was like the
uh-huh.
first time I've ever been there, and it was like 100% you gotta go on Halloween. You just gotta.
Yeah, that's a
It was the
dream.
coolest
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And it was like $50, and I was like,
Oh
wow.
my God.
There was only like
Yeah.
15 of us. Yeah, it was wild.
Wow, I'm
Blake,
Yeah, it was
jealous.
I'm
something I
jealous.
randomly
I would
saw online and I signed up for, and I was like, we're doing that on Halloween. That's what we're doing.
That's
So
incredible.
yeah, it was like meant to be, I feel like.
Hmm.
Yeah. But it's amazing there. It's just the whole vibe is awesome on
Especially
Halloween.
during the fall season. Oh,
Oh,
beautiful.
I'm sure they lean into the Halloween thing around Salem,
Oh
at that
Jonathan,
time
yeah.
can
of
we
year.
go for my birthday?
Oh yeah, sure. I'll put it on the
Okay,
list. Let
great.
me write that
Okay,
down somewhere.
thank you.
It's true.
What are yours?
Yeah.
Oh God. But my problem isn't coming up with three. It's stopping at three,
Narrowing it down.
Yeah, I would love to go to like Massachusetts, Maine area, the Bridgewater Triangle area, that whole section I would love. I probably my
1914.
top three, I'd want to go to Eloise I think it's in Michigan.
Uh-huh.
Um,
So take
Go ahead.
Eloise off, take Eloise off because
Oh no, it's still on there. I may not be able to go, but it's still
yeah, but I just got word that it has now been closed to the paranormal for good.
Oh,
Is it
no.
condemned?
So I don't really, it's not condemned because we went there in May on the way to Madison and did one of their lives and got to investigate the power plant, which has now been torn down. And I was reaching back out to the people at Eloise. I'm like, hey, can we come back out this summer in July to do another podcast and, do a mini investigation? And they just got notified this last Tuesday that the attorneys say they cannot do anything paranormal there anymore.
What in the world?
That's all I know. I'm like, okay.
Sometimes there's ways around that.
So I
Yeah,
don't
like
know,
in Texas.
Yeah, that's
right?
exactly
The
right.
what is I've forgotten the name of that hospital in Texas.
Yorktown,
Yorktown Memorial Hospital. They had went through the same thing recently where the locals said whatever local authorities said
right.
you need to shut down normal no more. You may not rent it out for paranormal investigations. And they said, okay, we're going to turn it into a private club. And if
Okay.
you want to buy
Right.
an investigation, you get membership to the club.
Right.
So
It's like
you
a
can come
1 day
hang out at the
membership, so you
clubhouse.
can come to the private club
Yep.
and if you happen to investigate while you're there, oh well, you know.
Nothing we can do about it. Yeah.
Well,
I
Eloise
hope
is
they
still on
find a
my
way
list.
around it.
Yeah, maybe they'll
Eloise
find a
is a
way
good
around.
location. I'll give you that.
It sounds incredible, like
Um,
a massive, cool
The place
place.
is huge.
Yeah.
House of Wills would be one I'd like to go to.
Oh.
There you go.
Um, and I want to go to Penhurst and Eastern State and
Uh-huh.
Waverly Hills and all of those. One of the first ones that came to my mind was also South Pittsburgh Hospital.
Yeah.
Um, but I think my last one, if I had to just pick one, oh my gosh, I think I would probably end up in I think I'd probably end up in at the Whaley House.
Oh, there you
Oh, yeah. That's a
So
good one.
those are
Good
my
pick.
those are my three, but that's a hurtful three because there's like 30 more I'd like to put on that list.
Oh, I know. It's like there's just so many.
Yeah, it's hard.
Like Penhurst is
I was
always.
gonna say
Go ahead.
Myrtle's Plantation was one that I
Yeah,
love to go to.
Yeah.
that would be
And
a
we're
good one.
able. It's hard to get there though, because it's like kind of far away from everything. So if you're staying in New Orleans,
Well,
it's a
that's
drive.
kind of
Yeah.
the same thing with Randolph's kind of that same way and Blackford and
Also, is Gettysburg
The
really?
Monroe House. It's kind of in
Right.
the middle of there's no easy way to
Yeah.
get there. It's in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
you know. There's like one you probably have to change the highways four times just to get there and
Yeah.
Well, same with Malvern Manor in Iowa.
oh
I mean, we had
yeah.
to go down some real rough roads to get there.
Yeah.
All the good places are in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it
Yep.
seems like it. And
Yep.
Malvern's in a town the size of my bathroom, and the Villisca's in a town the size of my bathroom, and
Yep.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
the one you mentioned in Wisconsin seems to be the same
oh
situation as
yeah,
well.
it
They're always
is.
in these one little, there's none in the
Nowhere to
middle
eat
of.
nearby.
Yeah.
I think there's a reason for that. If you put it in a big city, it's like, okay, nobody's using this place. This is prime real estate. We're tearing down whatever's here and putting up a parking lot or a building or something, and you
Yeah.
lose those places. Where in some small town,
True.
Well, it's
Yeah.
kind of like with Penhurst. That wasn't even on our radar for next year, and that's been one of our bucket list locations. And now with all the talk of the data center taking over that, it's like, okay, we need to get out there now just in case.
right?
Yeah. You don't want to lose it before you've been there.
You know. But another place that's always going to be my number one bucket list location, Sweet Spring Sanatorium.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
keeping my fingers crossed that it'll reopen someday.
It's
Yeah.
not open?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
I
The
didn't know
the
that.
owner passed away last November and it's been in limbo since.
Oh
Oh
no.
no.
Yep.
That's awful. Wow.
It's
Yeah.
kind of amazing how many places are kind of shutting down it, but it's not like they're all just shutting down. It's some, the owner has passed away or, the city has come in and said, no, you can't do this anymore. Or, all
Yeah.
these just weird things going on. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if I don't know. I can't even begin to speculate.
Like another
Yeah.
location out in I think it's Connecticut, Seaside Sanatorium. They are tearing that down and turning that area into a state park.
Mm.
Really?
I mean,
Yep.
at least it's not a Walmart, but that still sucks.
Yeah.
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 It's like can't you find a way to like somehow keep the building amongst the state park?
Yeah.
It's like
You think it'd have some historical, like
You know,
ground to stand on.
yeah, you if you don't have your historical places registry information in quickly, a lot of those places, just the money it's going to take to bring them back to
Yeah.
something that's structurally sound for the general
right,
public to pass a code,
Mhm.
you know, it's just
That
it's
stinks.
cheaper to just bulldoze them than it is to, you know.
which is sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Very
is
sad.
sad, but that's why I'm always impressed with the places that have found a way to do it because, and the biggest thing for me, and I say this all the time on our podcast, but the biggest thing for me is you got to have a roof and you got to have windows.
Yep.
If you have those two things, then your building will survive. If you don't have those two things, it's just a matter of time.
Yep.
So if you want to keep it, there's where your first investment should be.
Oh, for sure. All right. So, speaking of your guys' podcast, how did that all get started?
I'm a big podcast girl. For a long time, I was listening to all the true crime podcasts and
Hmm.
then the paranormal ones I could find. There weren't a lot when I was listening to podcasts, 10 years ago. But I just kept pestering Jonathan repeatedly. I want to
Hey,
start
want
a
to start a
podcast.
podcast?
I want to
Hey,
start a
want to start a
podcast.
podcast?
And he'd be like, "You do that. You go do that and you have fun." And I was like, "No, I don't want to do it by
Yeah,
myself. I need
you know,
you."
the weird thing about that is I had purchased a microphone. I had purchased, like a year before. It was like a $300 microphone that I got for like 170 bucks. And now you can buy that microphone for 100 bucks. But, I was like, I've got all this stuff. I could do a podcast. I've got all the equipment. I just
He just
needed
kept
the
saying he didn't have
podcast.
time to do it. And he didn't want to make a
It's
podcast with
like
me.
the
He didn't
universe
like
was
me.
saying, make a podcast. Here you go. Here's the stuff. You have a microphone. Why did you buy this thing?
It was after COVID because I had kind
Hmm.
of played around with it during COVID. Like, I've got all this time on my hands. I might as well start. But I just didn't create anything I liked. And then finally talked Jonathan into it. And we spent a good 6 months trying to come up with a name and
Hmm.
how do we want to do it? What do we want our setup to be like for each episode? And then finally just wore him down and we did it.
Nice.
And here we
Yeah.
are almost 3 years later.
Yep. It'll be 3 years in March.
How many episodes have you guys done?
We're on, I think our numbered episodes were on like 72 or 73. And then we were doing a book club for a while. We always stop during the holidays because who has the time
Yeah,
Yeah.
to
I
read extra books?
yeah,
Jonathan's an
I
English teacher, so he
Uh,
does a lot of
yeah,
reading on
I'm
his
an English
own.
teacher, full-time English teacher at a high school, but I also teach composition for a local college, and I even teach those same classes at the high school as dual credit. So, I'm doing 30 hours a week just in classes. Most high school teachers do about 20 to 22, and most
Yeah.
professors do about 15, but I'm doing 30.
Yeah.
So by the time you start doing grading and all that stuff, you know. I don't have time to read a book and,
Yeah.
write everything and do and 3 videos and all that kind of stuff to for this. So during the holidays, we don't do book
Yeah.
clubs.
So with our minis and all our episodes, we're at over 100 episodes.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been interesting. It's been a learning curve, but it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's like, for doing my podcast, it's like, it's just meeting the different people and
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
hearing their stories. I've done a podcast with somebody from Australia, Ireland a couple times, and just like,
Oh, wow.
that is it's hearing stories from other parts of the world,
Yeah.
There's my other bucket list location. All of Europe.
Ireland.
right?
Yes,
Ireland,
Scotland.
France, Scotland, England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the
I don't want to
funniest
get on a
thing,
plane, so I don't know how we'd get over there.
so
Well,
the
there's a
funniest thing,
direct flight now from here to Dublin, 8 hours
Oh, that
overnight.
really
Yeah.
freaks me out.
8 whole hours on a
I
little
mean, it's
tiny
you just
metal
sleep.
cylinder.
It's a red eye flight.
I think it was
Oh.
back in, God, I can't remember if it was January or February, but the one podcast I did with the guy from Australia, at the time my daughter was doing podcasts with me, and she wasn't home that night. She goes, "Well, ask him how my Saturday is going to be because it was Saturday for him." He's like, "Oh, tell her she's going to have a great day. Her Saturday is going to be
Might rain in
amazing."
the afternoon, but
Yep.
I'm a army vet and I was in Berlin, Germany when I was in the army. So I've flown that flight
Mhm.
from, that 13-hour, 14-hour flight to all the way across and then another, stop for refuel and then go for another hour. And it's, you get, if you're not used to flying, you'll get used to it long before you're
Oh, I'm
landing.
sure.
Yeah.
I've
I
never
think
flown.
the flights are like even smaller though internationally than they are in like within, which is crazy to me because you think
Oh,
they give you more
wonderful.
room, but they don't.
Right.
Well, I mean, you're going that far, the more people you can put on there.
Right.
True.
But like for 8 hours, we got less space, you know?
Yeah. You gotta stretch around.
Yeah.
So
At
what
least there's a
is
movie you can watch.
right?
Oh, true.
So what are your guys' take on all the ghost hunting apps that are out there?
Jonathan hates them. I
I don't
think
hate
that
them.
I think that I'll play with anything. I'm not gonna rely on it. I'm not gonna
Right.
probably trust most of it. But you never know. You could catch something fun or weird.
Yeah, I
I think
agree.
it's one of those things that if something else happens, if you get something, if like the word bang appears on your Ovilus app and 2 seconds later you hear a door slam, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But most of the time, that's not what happens. They're just,
Yeah.
you know,
Most of the time.
it's a phone app, so, and I'm honestly that way even about like K2s and other things because, a K2 and a REM pod and all those things, they all do the same thing. They're just boxed in a different way, and this one
Yeah.
makes noise when that one flashes lights, but they all detect the same thing. The rope light thing is just a string of
Don't
K2s.
start hating on my rope light.
Not hating, I'm just saying they're all the same thing. It's just a string of K2s that are all strung together is really all it is. So it's like, I'm not sure how I feel about a lot of that stuff. We read a book by I think it was Amy Bruni's book, and
Huh?
the one of the points she makes is you spend so much time looking at screens and lights that you don't notice what's going on around you,
True.
And so because I've seen so much stuff when we were at at ISS and I saw the guy standing over, I mean he was 12 feet away. We were at Hamilton Primary School. That's another Illinois location, and Cheney
Oh yeah,
Mansion
yep.
in
Cheney
Illinois. There's
Mansion.
another Illinois location we've been to.
Both
Um,
really cool and really affordable.
very. We were in the basement, and the guy that was leading the whole thing was giving us the spiel about the history and everything. And I look over, something caught my eye, and I look over, and I see this wispy shadow figure run across the back of the room. And I look around, and everybody, nobody else saw it. And I was like, man.
Mm.
If I was looking at screens, I never would have saw any of those things.
Yeah.
You know,
Whatever.
I've even I bought a body camera. I happen to have it laying on my desk. It's a Boblov, um, and it's got a magnet, and you can put it on your thing. And I started wearing it because I'd go these places and I would see things, and I was like, if I had a camera right here,
Yeah.
I would have caught it theoretically.
Yeah.
But a
And he
camera,
hasn't caught anything on the camera since he got it other than our
since I
friends
started wearing
waving in
it,
it.
I
But yeah, like
um,
I have all the Ghost apps on my phone, but
Hmm.
I've never really used them.
they're great for like you're sitting in a room and it's been 2 hours and nothing's really happening. They're kind of a great
Hmm.
diversion to kind of change the energy up a little bit and see what happens. And
Yeah, I normally only bring him out at the end of the night where we're all kind of like tired and let's just see what happens. But we've never really caught anything on it. We did have, now I don't remember if it was on a phone or computer, but we had an Ovilus type app and we were in the basement at Mineral Springs and the middle of us using it, it changed the language and
Hmm.
started spitting out words in a different language. And we couldn't figure out how to turn it back. You had to fully turn the app off to get it to go back to English,
That's weird.
which was
Interesting.
so weird.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
we haven't had a lot from the apps, but that one was neat.
Yeah, that was the Witches Familiar Girls that had that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe it was a phone app.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout
Yeah,
out to Witches Familiar. Love you
they
guys.
went to Waverly with us over the summer.
Oh, they're our best friends. We love them so much.
Yeah.
Yep, they're awesome.
Yes.
I didn't
Yeah.
get to see them that much that night, but
I mean,
it
that
is what
place
it
is so
is.
huge, you can probably not see anybody all night long
Well,
if
yeah,
you
it's like I saw
and not
them
have to work
for
hard to do it.
I
No.
saw them for maybe like 20 minutes, and then we had what 16 people there that night, and then
Wow.
another five I maybe only saw them for like a minute the whole night.
Really? I mean,
Wow.
that's not very many people. Given the size of that location, I would have figured they had 30 people in that place at any one time, but that's insane because
But yeah,
that
no, because
place
that
is
was
huge.
when we went in June, so we had it for the private. So it's like I wanted to keep it smaller
Ah,
numbers,
Yeah. So you have some control over what's happening.
yeah, yeah,
right?
for sure.
And like for
That's kind of the worst thing about some of the ones we've been on with the American Hauntings Company, and there's other ones just like them all over the country, but they'll put 20 people in these places and now anything you pick up on a recording, is it us? Is it a ghost, or is it just bleed through from that we didn't hear very well
Yeah.
because we weren't
Yeah.
focused on it
Well,
from
and
another
it
group doing
takes,
their investigation?
by the time we get around to listen to our evidence, it's 3 years have passed and we
Sometimes,
don't
yeah.
remember what was happening.
Well, yeah, it's like I just got done going through Waverly, and it's like that was back in June. And it's just like,
Uh-huh.
but it's like, having a full-time job and then
Yeah.
kids and other
Just
things.
life.
You
It's
have to like
like,
manually
Podcasts.
listen.
I'll
You
I'll
can't
get
just
to it
Yeah.
when I
use an
get to
app.
it. Like
Yeah.
my
You
friends
gotta sit
team,
there for hours.
my friends team,
Right.
they did back in September of last year, they did Waverly, Trans-Allegheny, and Licking County Jail. They still haven't gotten through their Waverly or Trans-Allegheny footage, and that's been over a year.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
just how it goes because I mean, every hour of footage you have, and if you've got three cameras, there's 3 hours, and never mind, and I've got six recorders running at a time, so there's 6 hours. So now we were only there, if you only have an hour on each, now you've
Yeah.
got 9 hours worth of stuff, and you haven't even started counting all night long. That's just 1 hour.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
it takes a lot of time.
yeah.
It's a
Yep.
time consuming. I think people see on television, I think this ghost hunting thing is running around and catching ghosts, and a lot of it's sitting around and listening to audio,
Yeah.
Well,
I
and
for
feel
it's
like the
like,
hours and
original
hours and hours.
Ghost Hunters like did a really good job at kind of representing that though. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
early on, where like they'd have like clips of them just listening and like
Uh-huh.
watching
Yeah,
videos
You
the
can
the
of
tell they've been
animals.
doing
montage.
it for hours. They're
And I'm
so
like, wow,
tired.
this is so accurate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They had a good habit of, because it's a show and maybe it was, theoretically it was like, all right, we did this, we went to bed, and then we get up the next day and we just go straight to bring a coffee in and sit down in front of a monitor, and they do it right then and there. And if we all
Yeah.
did that, we would be better ghost hunters
Well,
than we
they
are.
also pay their other investigators to do it because they have
Yeah.
mentioned multiple times in the like, oh, I'm glad we don't do that anymore. Because
Right.
I know
Yeah.
They now they have a
we're
team doing it.
well,
yes.
like, so
That's the way to do it.
100%.
I'm a para at a middle school, and I've been trying to get a paranormal club going,
Well, that's
and
fun.
the gym teacher that sets up the activities, he's like, oh, I'm just, kind of hesitant on it. And he goes, I just don't think a paranormal club, is a good fit for the school because it's not going to teach the kids anything. I'm
Oh,
like, so like I put out a whole email thing to him, like, this is what, the students would learn doing this because it's not just about going out ghost hunting.
right. There's
You have to
research.
like reach out to the locations, communication,
Hmm.
finances, video aspect. I go, there is so much more than just going to the location.
Even doing the
Yeah.
research
The historical
involved, the
research.
Right?
historical
Yeah.
research, and using critical thinking to determine, this story about Janitor Bob, is that a real story? What aspects of this story are sensational, and what aspects of this story is something that reasonably could have happened, and how much is folklore and how much is real life? There's a lot you could really do something with that. You just, sounds like
And
they're
it's like,
trying to tell you no in the nicest way possible,
and it's like,
I feel like we had
like I've
something
had
like that
people
in
ask me, like,
school.
so how do you go about booking these places? Do you just go? I'm like, no. I go, you got to talk to the owners and you got to pay money and book it. You just don't go,
You don't just
You
show
just
up at the
show
front
up.
door and throw
Hey, let
money
me in
at
and
them.
look at your ghosts.
right? But
I'd
I
love
go,
to do that.
there is a lot of planning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Years in advance sometimes.
Well, it's like, I've already pretty much got everything locked down for 2026, and
You're
I,
ahead of us.
I've
We've
already
done no
got
planning.
I've already got a location booked for 2027.
Oh
It's
my
Oh
like,
gosh.
my
Good
gosh.
gosh.
yeah,
We're
I
just gonna
thought so
You
too.
need to stop. You're making the
tag
rest of
along
us
to
look
you.
bad.
but it's just like, I know what I want to do, so it's like, start, a lot of these places you only can book a year in advance, but like
Hmm.
Yeah,
there was one place I had booked for this year or next year that we were able to make it to. So I'm like, hey, can I do this date in 2027? So it kind of just fell into place. But
that
it's
works.
like I already kind of have an idea of where I want to go and what I want to do in 2027. So it's just, figuring out the dates, and it's like as soon as the booking happens, get it done.
Yeah. We have nothing planned at all.
Yeah, we have ideas of places,
Uh-huh. Lots of
but we
those.
no nothing in the books for sure.
Not yet.
Yeah, we generate a lot of ideas, but we don't execute on half
Well,
of
I
them.
know it's like, my plans for next year have changed like three times. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is what I want to do, but then it changes to this. And then the whole Penhurst thing came. So then that just, changed everything. I'm like, okay, well, Trans Allegheny is going to be this day. We're doing Penhurst. What can we do in between? I'm like, oh, hey,
Mm-hmm.
Gettysburg. So it's just like
Yeah.
that all changed right there.
Gettysburg's one of those places that's just I'm shocked that it's not more haunted than it is.
It's
Simply
pretty haunted.
because just
Gotta find the
because
right
they're
place in the right time.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean
I
they're
want to
just
go to that festival they do every
yeah.
year.
All that reenactment that they do constantly, you would think that that
Yeah.
would just be charging the
Yep.
environment constantly feeding it. But
Well, and
um
there's all kinds of haunted locations and houses right around
oh
in
yeah.
Gettysburg.
Yeah, every single one of them from what I understand,
Yeah.
throw a rock, close your eyes and throw a rock and
Mhm.
you'll
Are
hit
you
one.
guys going anywhere specific in Gettysburg or just kind of checking out the whole?
So we're doing only two mini investigations. We'll be at the Jenny Wade house for 2 hours,
Uh-huh.
and
Cool.
then the orphanage out there for another two
Ooh,
hours.
yeah.
Oh,
Are
so
you
cool.
staying there overnight?
You can't stay there overnight, so I don't know where we're staying yet, but it'll probably be haunted.
Well,
A
they say that
local
the
historical
show,
haunted hotel that
that green and white hotel that's right next to the Jenny Wade house has all sorts of good stories as well that I don't
Okay.
feel like they
That's
talk
cool.
about enough.
when
Yeah,
we went
I haven't planned the sleeping arrangements for that trip yet because like all the other places I got lined up for 2026, you can
Hmm.
sleep on site except for
Yeah.
Hmm.
the
Well, hit
July.
me up. I have some ideas for you, and I also have some locations that are like
Okay.
from when we went that
when
we
we
were
s-
told by the locals. So,
when we went to Malvern, we stayed at a B and b that was an old train depot that was supposed to be haunted. We didn't experience anything while we were there, but
Well, we were drinking and it, you know,
okay, she was drinking
not
heavily.
focusing.
it was more of a fun night than a ghosty
It
night.
really
But
was. We
it
were being
was it
silly.
was a tiny little Airbnb, but it was supposedly haunted. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have the fun nights too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're
Or
not
you're
having
not going to get
fun,
through the weekend.
I mean, if you're not having fun, then, why are you doing it, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you said you had no future plans for next year. You guys got to
Nothing
get on.
solid anyway.
You got to get on that.
We do. We need to. We have a couple things we want to work on through the podcast. Uh, a lot of people do like live shows and stuff, and I have zero interest in public speaking. That's why I do a podcast, and you don't have to stare in my eyes as I try to remember something.
Mhm.
Um, but I want to do a little like ghost hunt with us kind of a thing. So we're gonna try to work out the kinks for that, try to plan an event where you can come ghost hunt with us. But other than that, we don't have anything booked aside from hanging out with you guys.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like one thing, down the road, it's like do on location podcasts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
talked about it.
We've talked about that for sure.
Yeah, because we did one at Indiana State, and then I did kind of an on-site podcast where I was at Edinburgh Manor, but it was still through Zoom, but I was on location, which that was kind of an interesting podcast. A few technical issues, but
Of
it is
course.
what it is. But then like when we're in Gettysburg next year, I got it set up where I'm doing a podcast with the manager of the Jenny Wade House and a few other on-site podcasts next year.
That'll be really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that'll be
just
neat.
something, a little different.
Yeah, you get to hear different stories that people wouldn't normally bring you.
Yep. Um, let's see what else. Trying to think what else we have next year. I don't know. We do on Saturday. I hope it goes good, but we actually have an event that we're doing at the Sheldon Theater in Red Wing, Minnesota, where I grew up. We have Patty Negri flying in from LA,
Oh, wow.
and we have like, got 15. This is a smaller event, so we got like 15 to 18 people showing up where they get to investigate with us or by themselves. Patty's going to do an on-site seance, and we're going to have a gallery reading, and
That'll be really cool.
That'll be
yeah,
neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
I'm
yeah,
Hmm.
so
it's
excited.
going to be a good night. Weather's going to be good, so that's nice. About 30 degrees.
Great way to end out the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just going to be next year is going to be something, that's for sure.
Yeah, you've got a jam-packed year.
Yeah. We need to get better about planning our year out. We
Yeah, well,
just
you're a busy
it's
person.
it's March and we're like, you know what? Let's do something over the summer. Okay, where do you want to go? I don't know. Where do you want to go? Let's go here. Okay. So I call up a couple of places and book some things and off we go.
I want to go to Mothman this year. I
Yeah.
absolutely want to go to Mothman this year. I've put it
Definitely
off
want to
for
make
too
it to Point
long.
Pleasant.
I'd love to go
And
to
I,
that'd be cool, but
uh-huh.
And if you go there, you got to go by the Flatwoods Monster. I mean, it's just around the
You might as
corner,
well.
you know.
Yeah.
And I want to do an Ohio trip where we do multiple locations and we need to make it down to Texas at some point.
Yeah.
That's my only thoughts.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same mind. I want to do Ohio. I want to go by Mothman. We've went west. It's time to go east.
Yeah.
Let's see what Ohio has to offer. I'd like to again make it back to Randolph and
Mm-hmm.
Blackford County and Monroe. But I'd also
No.
like to find yeah, no on the Monroe for you. You can wait in the car. I'll
feel
but yeah,
like we
for sure.
should do a podcast about like the Bridgewater Triangle. That'd be interesting because I find that fascinating as well when you were talking about that earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool.
we did a podcast about Bridgewater.
Oh, you did.
It was
Awesome.
our
I think it
third
was like our
episode.
third or fourth episode. Don't
I
judge
don't
when you go
recommend
back and
listening
listen.
to it.
Is that bad?
No, no
It's
judgment.
not bad, but you know how it
It's
is when
just
you've done the
old.
first one, you're just not
Okay.
sure what you're doing. You're kind of just
Yeah.
figuring it out. By about episode 6 or 7, we kind of start hitting our stride a little bit, and you
I
know,
just listened
def
to the editing and I'm like, what was I doing? Why didn't
yeah,
I take that out? And
Oh, I remember one of our first podcasts had a guest on there. Oh my God. Great person, great guest, but she would not quit talking. I had to hold in the yawns. I was like getting so tired, and it was like getting to be 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, okay, when are we going to be done?
2 hours later.
That did happen too. So like I did podcast back in October with the owner of the Enfield house. He
Wow.
goes,
Wow.
he goes, I have an hour set aside because we have something going on for Halloween. 3 hours later,
Oh my gosh.
it's like, okay, I gotta cut this short. My daughter's messaging me. She wants me to make her lunch.
Uh-huh.
When we
Yep.
record our podcast, we record probably 2.5 hours. It's not abnormal, and then edit it down. And I say heaven edits it down
Hmm.
to an hour or
About an
so,
hour. But
so
we are we have a great dynamic, and that means we very often get off topic and rant and ramble about things
Oh,
that
it
mhm.
nobody
happens.
needs to hear. So we
Right.
cut it
So
all out.
it's like, hey, I just cut 20 minutes out of the beginning of it because we were complaining about this thing that happened, so
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yep. Well, anyways, I don't think I have anything else. I don't know if Courtney does.
No, I feel like I kind of just butted in when I thought of something, so I didn't forget.
That happens.
She sounds like your girl for Gettysburg, though. I think she knows she's been there and knows what's going
Okay,
on.
so I didn't want to interrupt, but my first like true investigation was in Gettysburg.
That's
So
Oh,
cool.
that's very
Gettysburg is where
cool.
my heart is, I guess. Like,
Right. It's the
Yeah.
first one. I mean, it's the first
well,
one. You can't
official,
not.
real with equipment, like,
Right.
so
That's cool.
Well, all
yeah.
I know is you and James better be coming on that trip with us.
I want to go with you to Gettysburg. Like, that is one of those places that draws me, but it's expensive to go there.
Yeah. The farther
So
away
that's
it
what
is,
I
the
would go
more it
there every
costs.
week if I could.
Now, the
Right.
only part of
It's
that
just
trip I'm not looking forward to is the drive across Pennsylvania.
it's actually really pretty. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like it's actually a really,
You've
really
never
cool
driven
vibe as
across Nebraska, have you?
Oh,
oh, I
Nebraska's
have.
horrible.
I have. Oh
Oh,
yes. It's not fun. Neither is Illinois.
love you,
Oh,
Nebraska
Illinois is
people.
awful.
Illinois isn't bad. At least changes
It's
from time to time, but
terrible.
you
No,
could
it
go for
doesn't. It's
200
cornfield after
miles. Well,
cornfield.
you get,
Driving to Florida multiple times years ago, I can tell you I've
yeah,
been all the way across Illinois many times, and it's not
yeah.
very
It's kind of hilly and
Boring.
woody in the north, and then it gets really flat in the middle, then it gets hilly and woody in the south.
it's
Nebraska, on the
awful.
other hand, flat all the way
I
across.
wasn't much better either. So
Just like
Yeah,
Kansas.
No.
Kansas is pretty boring too.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
Midwest for you.
yeah.
Yep.
Welcome to the land of hope.
Hmm. Well, anyways, with that, the last thing I like to do is let you guys shout out any places, social media where viewers can find you.
We always ask that if you want to send us a ghost story, we like to do like reader or listener episodes where we read your stories. You can email us at them at opaghost@gmail.com. We also have a Facebook group that's just Opa Ghost.
Yeah, we're on Instagram. Just um, search Opa Ghost. We have a YouTube channel, which is mostly just shorts from, clips from the show. Those you just search Opa Ghost one word. You can find those. We're on Blue Sky. Um, I mean, we're kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
All right, sounds great. Well, I thank you two for taking some time and joining us tonight.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks for
It's
having
been
us.
a
It
good
was
time.
fun.
It was
yes, it was
Yeah.
fun.
awesome. And I look forward to chatting with you in the new year and all the stuff that will come.
Yeah, and
Yes.
best of luck
Thank
to you
you.
on your upcoming investigations.
Oh, yes. Thank you. All right, you guys have a great night, and I shall talk to you all soon.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep. Good night.
Good night.